So I'm something of an expert on soccer in the United States. I don't claim to be an expert on much, but obviously, as the token American that's sitting here talking about this stuff, anyways, or at least one of them, I feel like it is an obligation for me to stay readily updated on the state of play in the U.S. I mean, hell, for a long time I did a podcast with a guy that played in MLS, right? I was still caught off guard when somehow, some way, this happened. Right, I was seeing reports all over the place from Hercules Gomez, who's a mutual and big time involved in the U.S. soccer community. Random spam accounts like Center Goals or whatever. They were throwing up this clip of Lionel Messi coming down the tunnel after Inter Miami had been played like a bongo drum at a fiesta. All right, the 3-0 defeat against LAFC. If you're not familiar with MLS, LAFC is definitely one of the best teams. Obviously, so is Inter Miami. Right, they are the reigning Cup champions, but they're getting old. Right, it's not just Messi. It's Messi and all his friends. They're all getting old at the same time. Some of them have already retired. They show up in the new season. It is not an easy game playing LAFC. They lose 3-0. And then this footage comes out with, reportedly tried to enter the referee's locker room and had to be restrained by Luis Suarez. So here's the clip. So this is under the stadium, obviously, and very quickly, Luis Suarez has managed to pull Lionel Messi out of, what is reportedly the referee's locker room. I think, and honestly, Lionel Messi should know this as well as anyone, as somebody that's played with Luis Suarez a lot, that's been friends with him for a long time. If you are in a position where Luis Suarez is the one cautioning restraint, you probably shouldn't fucking be doing what you're doing. Messi knows that, right? There's no, if Luis Suarez is the voice of reason, if he's putting his hand on your shoulder and going, brother, perhaps not. You've gone too far. The bridge you've turned back. The bridge you've crossed, we don't know where it leads, but it leads to a dark, shark-infested water, okay, that you don't want to go into. So this was the initial report and how everything had come out. And obviously, outside of making fun of the fact that it's Luis Suarez, that's the guy that's trying to stop him, I do want to point out at least some of a double standard. Because while I respect that Cristiano Ronaldo is, in my opinion, one of the 4 best players to ever lace him up and kick a ball, right? Just an unbelievable, you know how many billions of people have laced him up and kicked a ball? One of the 4 best for me. Right, but I have absolutely taken part in dissecting his downfall. And even if you're not saying it's a downfall, it's definitely a downfall in public opinion around Ronaldo. Just to he's just turned up the weirdness. I think the amount of fame and the amount of money that's been around him for so long, it's just you detach from reality more and more. And I just feel like Ronaldo's kind of been going through that. And I have absolutely been participating in the, what's Ronaldo doing now? Circus, right? Is as much as a lot of other people have, as much as everybody else has, really. If Ronaldo had done this, it would have been a much bigger deal. Right? If Ronaldo had done this, it would have been a much bigger deal. And there would be a lot more people reacting to it and a lot more people coming up with really wild accusations. Now, I'll go out on a limb and say that MLS is a much more competitive league than the Saudi League is. I think the Saudi League obviously has some really high-level football being played there, but I think MLS has, just in terms of a general competitiveness and how much the average player or the majority of players really care about actually winning the league or whatever, I think MLS has that cleared. More clubs, more fans, right? And just a general, I mean, normally MLS doesn't have this argument, but MLS is a much more established, more historic, more tenured league than the Saudi League is as well. So there is intensity. In particular, LAFC is a tough place to play. Like the LA Memorial Coliseum, tough place to play. There were 76,000 fans there. Sure, a lot of them, they're there to watch Messi, but LAFC has a ton of fans. Some of the nastiest, wildest, buck wild fans that you're going to get. Right? And to the point that, Lionel Messi is here in the good times, fun vibes portion of his career. Kind of annoying, kind of sucks to lose in that environment with 76,000 fans there to LAFC. Right? And so the pressure's turned up a lot. Obviously, Lionel Messi is basically the head coach and the president of the club at this point, and so the failures of the team do reflect back on him if they happen. Now, of course, he's won the trophy last season, but he's also Lionel Messi, and he has those expectations. But if Ronaldo had done this, it would have been a bigger deal. People would be blowing it out of proportion. I think it's interesting that both of them seem to be following a similar trajectory. Now, Ronaldo was always flashier, in your face. He loved to show off his 8-pack. You know, dude's wearing slides everywhere, not a hair out of place every time he steps out the door, right? So his personality has been amplified as he's gotten older in his career. But Lionel Messi, really, we saw this around the 2022 World Cup. The whole time he's been in MLS, he's been a dog. I mean, in a way that he really wasn't most of his career. Like the competitiveness and that just desire to win, that just like, shit-talking, kind of little shove behind the official sort of vibe is grown. And if you've not been paying attention to the stories that have come out of MLS, that side of Lionel Messi has grown. And I imagine there's going to be some moments at this World Cup where it will be evident how much it has grown. I don't know if it's the inevitable pursuit of age. He can't do exactly what he wanted to do before. I mean, he's still amazing. You ever watch the guy now? He's still incredible. He's completely unmarkable a lot of the time. It's not like he ever moved much anyways. It's like his play style is pretty well suited to being old. But maybe that's frustrating him. Maybe it's, I don't know. Honestly, don't know. I figured he'd just be super chill after he won the World Cup, but he just seems to be more and more stuck into it at this point. Like he's just less able to control himself in a way that he was able to control himself for most of his career. Maybe he just doesn't care anymore, which is a very, wisening up with age sort of approach to be like, I just don't really care anymore. Like, yeah, I cared about containing this for a long time, but whatever. Most important part of this story, though, is that this entire thing that blew up for an entire day was apparently complete misinformation. So I kind of baited you with the way that I filmed this video as well, just to make sure that you're careful about interpreting things on the internet, because apparently Lionel Messi did not go into the officials' locker room. This was not some area that's protected by the league, because there was a 3-match suspension for a guy named Matt Miazga, if you remember him, who went into the officials' locker room and got a 3-match suspension. So people were saying, well, is Messi going to get a couple matches, which would be huge for Inter Miami, obviously. But MLS was made aware of the incident with a video. He appeared to enter the referee's premises momentarily, but the area Messi walked through was, in fact, not restricted by the league. Now, it might have been, of course, an instance where the referee's locker room was all the way at the end of that hallway. He just goes into the start of the hallway, and then, maybe he's just trying to, I don't know, because he was definitely upset. Like when you watch this video, he is absolutely upset. Something's going on, right? And something's going on to the point that Luis Suarez is physically trying to pull him out, right? And eventually maybe he's just able to convince him to turn around and like, oh, you're going to have to get suspended for a couple of matches if you actually go all the way in there. And so he just turns around and leaves. I mean, we really don't know. And it's not like Lionel Messi's going to tell us. Probably rightfully so. He's incredibly private. He's not giving press conferences or interviews because he just doesn't want to. And because everything he says, every time he sneezes, it affects like 10 million people. He's one of the most important, influential, famous people on the entire planet. I don't blame him for not addressing this issue with an Instagram story or something. But I don't know. And I don't think anybody really knows. I need to get in touch with some LA Coliseum staff to tell me what the hell was at the end of that hallway. That Lionel, maybe it was a buffet. Maybe he was just hungry. He was just trying to fight his way down there. And Suarez was like, no, there's plenty of people out here. We can just bite them. Maybe that was what the argument was, and we've completely misinterpreted all of this. But the MLS reviewed it, and the door the player entered was not the referee's locker room. The professional referee organization director of communications also confirmed to ESPN Messi did not enter the official's locker room. So that's like the head of refs in MLS. After speaking with the match officials, we can confirm he did not enter the premises. Inter Miami head coach Mascherano confirmed he didn't see Messi upset at all. Of course, he would say that even if he did. The truth is that the match finished, I went into the locker room, and that was it. Tough loss for Inter Miami. Looks like it's going to be an absolute rock fight and a struggle for them to be able to maintain their MLS crown, because there are a lot of half-decent teams in MLS that are preparing to be able to knock them out. But yeah, if you saw this, he didn't actually go in the locker room. It's fake news. It was completely fake news, apparently. Unless this is a massive league cover-up, in which case we will get to the bottom of this. But I think either way, given the fact that he was in there wherever the hell this door leads, this, bridge to Terabithia sort of occurrence here, the little Jumanji jumping through the board door that we got, he was only there for a few seconds. So don't know how much damage Lionel Messi could have done, but he is definitely more off the chain than he ever was before.